Welcome back with another exciting.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Anime Exclusive podcast. I'm Neil.
Jared.
I'm Q.
All right, cool. Jared, what was that?
Yeah, I feel like we should gotta decide if you're gonna do the intro at all times or if I should do it because I have no clue half the time.
Huh? Oh, I mean, I just kind of went for it. I gave you a half second, and I was just like, it's like that one Geico meme. I think it's like, oh, you gotta be quicker than that. Yeah. Gotta be on it, bro.
Fair enough.
I'm just joking. We can start this over. Jared, you can cue us in this time.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Why not? I'll keep the better one, or both.
I'll get the better one or both. Alright. You ready?
What's up, better? No, I'm joking. Go ahead, man.
Alright, we're back with
Ready
another
whenever
exciting.
you are, bro.
Fantastic. Let's get into it. Alright.
All right, cool. How's your guys' week going?
Week's going wonderful, man. I'm inside. It's raining outside, so I get to lay up and watch some anime, play some video games. It's always a good Sunday.
That's exactly how you should spend
Oh,
it.
it's a great
Love to
Sunday.
hear it.
Yeah. Yeah, Jared, what are you up to? And why aren't you wearing the shirt I told you should be wearing?
Oh, listen.
Fuck.
I didn't do it because I didn't want the jokes, to be honest with you. I was not trying to be here for that smoke. Yeah, no, I got the rave coming up.
I was the one that
Cool.
told you to buy that shirt.
Yeah. It's
And-
like when
and
it's
it
like
worked
when
for you.
your friend wears that flowery shirt, be like, oh, it looks good on you, or the one that has duck prints on you, like that looks good on you, but you're secretly gonna make fun of them on the side. I wasn't trying to be in that situation, so I just didn't do it.
Okay, fair enough. But you wore it to the rave
Yes, I
yesterday.
did.
And how did that work for
It
you?
worked okay at best.
And how did it work?
Okay at best. Cause
That's not what you said when you texted me
there's some
about it.
nuance to it, you know? There's this is funny, ha
Fair
ha,
enough.
but there's also we're gonna make fun of him, so I'm just like, nah, I'm not gonna do that on camera.
I don't know, man. All right, cool. I'm gonna leave that alone because there's a lot of jokes I can make about you not wanting to wear it. I would have made fun of you for not wearing it more than I would for you actually wearing it. So cute. This is the shirt he's wearing. I told him to buy a tank top that just said, "Hey, I'm fat. Let's party." Right? Throw on the Luffy hat. Send him off to a rave. That's a dope outfit.
You would get a lot of attention at a rave, to be fair, but I think you got a lot of attention
And he
with just
did.
the Luffy hat and the headband, the Leaf Village headband you were wearing.
Yup, we got options.
Fair enough. All right, cool. He did have some options. But hey, let's get right down to it. Tower of God. God, I love that episode. That was a fire episode.
I admittedly watched it, but I forget what happened. There was a lot going on around me. I apologize, guys. If you just fill me in, I promise I'll know what happened.
Okay.
Oh, you're chilling. Okay, cool. So quick backstory before I remind you what happened. I finished the episode. I walked out of my room, and Jared was in the kitchen, and I was just like, Jared, did you watch the new episode? And he's just like, nah, man. And it took all of the energy I had to not yell out and be like, fucking go watch that shit right now. But he did. And I'm sitting in my room 30 minutes later, minding my own business. Jared knocks on my door. And I'm and I'm watching a different TV show, and it was about to get a hype action scene, a gunfight scene. And right as it was about to hit the climax, Jared knocks on my door, and I'm like, what the fuck does he want? So I open the door, and he just looks at me, and he goes, bro, that episode was so hype, that, you know.
I did not have that much
So
energy.
it was a hype-ass episode. So, Q, this is what happened. We spent the majority of the episode with Kun and Rachel, right? And I low-key respect Rachel for keeping the charade up for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's this whole time, ever since she killed Bam, she's been pretending to be paralyzed from the waist down, right? And everybody's tending to her, and she's kind of she looks like she's playing everybody, like Kun's waiting on her, hand over fist, kind of almost being subservient to her, he's being her caretaker, and it's just the two of them, and and like he's like being there for her, like support. He's like, I'm gonna take care of you in Bab's absence, like, almost like he was like there. You were feeling kind of like almost a romantic vibe between them.
Yeah.
And I sat there and I was like, honestly, this girl's been playing him for 5 years. I almost respect it. I hate her guts, but I respect the game that she's running, because she not only played Bam, now she's playing Kun, right? And I was just like, oh shit, like this is like she's playing a crazy long game right now, and I hate her, but I kind of respect it. And then all of a sudden it flips, and Kun is just like, hey man, guys, I hate her. I know she killed Bam. I'm gonna get her back. Like, we're all keeping an eye on her, but we all hate her. So like, she thinks she's playing him, but he's really playing her. And I was about to be like, I was just like, bro, like this is the kind of, like, I told Jared this is the most I've ever liked this show. Season 1, the first few episodes, I'm like, hey, we're watching this for the pod. I'm just kind of here along for the ride. I'm like, yeah, happy to be here. Let's have fun. This episode, I literally was like, this is why I'm here. This is what we're doing. Like, this is what I've been waiting for. Like, this is the kind of stuff that I'm like, this has got to happen. And I was hyped. Like, usually when I tell Jared, hey, have you watched a new, like, episode? I'm just like, yeah, have you watched a new episode? This one, I was like, bro, watch the episode. Damn. Like, I could literally, like, I almost was like, yo, throw the outline out for today. Let's just talk about this episode. But we're not going to be doing that. That's what happened. Jared, fill in the blanks that I missed.
There's a lot of things to unpack here, because especially with this episode, like, you get to see both sides of the original team that we fell in love with, and you get to see the old team, the new team, I guess. And I'm just like, the new team's garbage in comparison, like, hands down. They're over here eating meals, having a good jolly old time, and you see Kun having an assassination capture moment to explain how he's gonna like handle Rachel. That was a beautiful like transition. I like the fact that Kun's new team was on board with the killing of Rachel, no questions asked. They don't know who Bon is. They don't know who Bam is, like, at all. And so, like, the fact that they're just like sitting there in the dark room, the change from sunlight to darkness to where you can only see Kun's eyes was like a beautiful scene. That they're just like very, very beautiful to just watch, and just see the fact that they're sitting there, they're making the outline, they're giving you the plans on how he's gonna like take over, like get Rachel, and the fact that the team is just like, yeah, we're here for it. Like, I was just like, okay, ride or die from day one. I like this new, like his new group. So that was awesome. And then you get to hear more about like, there's some nuggets that was dropped in there, I noticed, where he talked about specifically like where they were at in the original series, like in terms of levels. I thought that was pretty interesting, because they know that they were like on the first 2 floors in the original series, season 1, not series, but season 1, they were on the first 2 floors. Now they're hearing about Bomb on the 20th floor, which means the floor that they're on is probably like closer to the 30th or whatever, and they're much more higher up. I'm assuming that he's climbed the tower so much that that's where he got most of his wealth from. There's nothing confirmed to that whatsoever, but that's my guess of like what I've seen so far. So that was pretty interesting. And to just go back into watching Kun's personality shift, that's what I really wanted to talk about specifically, was because watching him go from like because you can visually see the difference from him being like with Rachel, be like, haha, like, I'm here to protect you, I'm here to help you climb the tower, I'm here to help you like create this, and you can see that whole like character he portrayed in there. And then you switch over to who he is like deep down, was like, especially when you see the scene of where it's like, they did this in like another show called Monogatari, where they would put words up on a screen, and then they would change the word and the fonting to like to display emotion, right? And so like you get to see him being like that side, the side protector, like the I'm gonna support you guy, and then you switch to like a psychotic murderer almost, of like, I hate what you did, I know what you did, and like I'm gonna have a revenge arc coming for you specifically, and then you're not gonna see it coming. That was just a very like nice display that I liked watching in this new episode.
Yeah, man, I feel it. So Q, did this refresh your memory a little bit? And what are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, that did a really good job refreshing my memory. Obviously, I already knew what happened with the, Kun, with Kun plotting to kill Rachel. And he knew what happened the whole time. He sensed something was up, and the team that he built with with Ran. I think the fast guy's name is Dan, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
Is that right?
Edim or something like Edim or Dan or yeah, something like that. I think we'll edit him onto the screen so people know who we're talking about. But yeah, you
Right.
also talking about Chicken Boy.
Yeah, Chicken Boy, of course. I think that this new team that he put together is very cold and calculated, and I think that more reflects Kuhn's personality as opposed to before when it was just Bam, Kuhn, Wrathrazor. You had a few other people that kind of were on and off the team, like Endorsey. You had the dude in the sleeping bag. I forget his name. I think it's LaRue, if I remember correctly. But I like how Kuhn is standing on business. He's standing on business right now. He's in it for the revenge. And even though we don't see it happening immediately, it's good that it's come over time, because there was a 5-year difference between when they were on the floor tests and where they are now, which is just past floor 20. So they're going to start getting into some real shit.
Yeah, for sure. And I like the fact that, like, he kind of was just like, all right, like, he took the old team and was just like, look, guys, like, I want y'all to climb the tower, but I'm going to be the one to go handle business with Rachel. Like, don't let that distract you. So, y'all my allies, y'all my friends, but right now we're going to go separate ways so that I can handle business here. Because nobody else needs to deal with that but me. I'll handle it, you know?
Exactly.
I really like that from Kuhn as well. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, we could just really dive into it, but like this episode. But I'm just like, honestly, I'm good with leaving it just like, this show is hype AF. Love this episode. Like, can't wait till the plot point hits where like he carries out whatever he's actually planning. I'm excited for that. So
For me, it brings up a question.
anything to add?
It brings up a question of, will he will he see Bam first before the revenge happens, or is the revenge gonna happen and then he sees Bam? Because like their revenge are like, I feel like it might conflict in the like later down the road, like they'll meet up to where they'll see each other and they both have their own plans to like get something to happen. So it's like I'm curious on how that's gonna unfold.
Well, yeah, especially because Bam isn't actually entirely set on his revenge against Rachel quite yet,
Right.
I don't think. Because he said last week, he's just like, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to
Yeah,
do.
he did.
So, like, he might decide to not, he might decide to, like, forgive her or whatever it is, and he and Kuhn kind of have to butt heads on that a little bit.
I
So,
hope not.
you never know. Like, so, huh?
Yeah,
but that's just because you hate Rachel.
Absolutely.
If
With the
Bam
passion. With the
if
passion.
Bam went back to being a simp, what would you guys do? Would you drop the series right there?
I'd laugh. No, I wouldn't drop the series. I would laugh really hard.
I wouldn't be surprised
Jared,
though.
you look like you're dying over there. What would you do?
I'd be really upset because it's like, come on, dog. You had all that edge energy, and you just were like, nah, I'm good. That would make me really upset. But at the same time, it's what the rest of the other teams need is for Bam to be like that kind of guy. So it's like, it's great for the story, horrible for the character. That's what that would be.
Right. What would you think?
Yeah, I would kind of get it. It depends because of like I was telling Jared, like part of me thinks that like in that 5-year time skip, Bam got his memories back and like the name he's going by, like Violet, I think there's his actual name, like he remembers everything. So there's a part of me that like if that theory does come true, how would that play into all this? But if he flipped and was just like, hey, like I'm gonna go back to like simping for Rachel, I'd get it in a way, but I would also kind of just laugh really, really hard.
I would also add the fact.
I think it would be the funniest thing if he did. I would laugh really, really hard if that happened. Almost to the point where I kind of wanted to. Now that I think about it, I kind of want him to,
So
just because not because of the story, not because of anything like that, but just the chaos that it would cause in terms of the internet and the fandom. I would enjoy that very, very much, especially all of the. And again, this is just me being who I am as a person. Especially all of the alpha male community. I would enjoy so much their reaction to this.
Man's calling out Fresh and Fit.
The red pill. Huh?
I said you're
Who?
calling out Fresh and Fit.
Yeah, who are they?
The red pill community. They're like the biggest in the red pill
No, I know who they are, but
They're
like, who are
losers.
they? Not on YouTube, not anymore.
nice.
Yeah, they're
But
gone.
Huh?
I will say though that based off of like what we've seen of Bam in the new series, he never really. I don't think he really went off the deep end like that. He makes a lot of threats that he's willing to do stuff, but every time like he comes close to it, he either knocks them out or puts them to sleep to where they can't like fight anymore. He doesn't really. We haven't seen him kill anybody, So that's what makes me think he hasn't fully gone the dark side anyway. So for him to revert back, I feel like it's a smaller step than we think it is.
No, yeah, that's. I mean, it's you're right. Like he's not angry.
Yeah.
Per se, like yeah. So it's. Okay, yeah, no. Since we're going with like the whole simp thing, he hasn't fully dove it into the red pill incel community quite yet. He's kind of in the middle, where you should be, honestly. But that I have my whole thoughts on that as well. But anyways, like I think that when the time comes, he'll make the decision on what to do. And I don't think like he'll kill her or even hurt her. At worst, he's just gonna be like, "Yo, I didn't appreciate that. Like, you're dead to me," and just kind of like move on.
Yeah.
That's like honestly, I think the worst that would happen.
Which sucks.
But yeah, I do kind of want to see him go back to the simpy nature, just because I feel like that would be the most entertaining for me.
So I want you guys to think about how big Rachel has been in Bam's life when you think about this, right? Like he was trapped down there for God knows how long, and for a long time, she was the only thing in his life. So all he knew for a long portion of his life was Rachel.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that kind of betrayal, I mean, think about like when you talk to your friends or you talk to someone that's in like an abusive relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
They keep going back to that same person because they're comfortable with, like they expect what's going to happen, I guess. Or they're just, I don't know how to describe it actually. Like I've never been in this situation before, but I've just seen it happen so many times.
But the way you're painting this picture is starting to make me upset. Because it makes me feel like he's going to go back to her like it's normal. And if that happens, I'm going to be so mad. If he forgives her and like, is like, we're good, I'm going to be so mad. That would make me really angry. That would make me angry.
Oh, see, Jared, that right there is why I want it to happen. Not just because of you, but like of everybody who feels that way.
Nah, bro. She pushed you off the edge and stole your entire friend group. That's crazy. Literally trying to kill him.
Literally pushed him off the edge.
Legitimately. That's why I'm like, nah, bro. It's. I hope he doesn't forgive her that way. Because, like, at least let Kun convince him otherwise. Like, don't let that slide. If they let that slide, I'm going to be so mad. I'm about to read the manga. I'm not even going to lie.
Yeah, I don't, like, when I say, like, I don't think he's going to go back, like, full simp. Like, he won't let it slide. Like, he'll let it go, but he won't, like, let it slide. Like, you know what I mean? Like, forgive, but don't forget.
Yeah, I got you.
Like, I think that's the most likely scenario.
I'm cool with that, but if you just go back full circle, that's what makes me mad.
Yeah, I still think that's what's going to happen. But or that's what I would love to happen just because of everything I've just outlined.
Totally read the manga now.
Neil's on demon time. Neil is on demon time right now.
Clearly.
Huh? Oh, no, dude, no. Like, you like, yeah. I mean, it would make for the best TV. Off top of my head. That's all it is. Jared knows I enjoy toxicity in TV shows. because that's what makes the most entertainment. Like any TV show where every character communicates healthy, is 100% logical, and kind of like if every character was a green flag, television shows would be very boring. So that's why I would like to see this kind of chaos happen, because it just makes it's more entertaining. So
I'm waiting for Kun to do something.
I know Jared has his own thoughts about that, and that's okay.
And this is your roommate, Jared? No, I'm kidding.
What was that, Q?
I was saying this is Jared's roommate. No, I'm kidding.
I'm saying.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It's been It's been an entire series for a minute. But
no, literally yesterday, actually in like the past 48 hours, the amount of times Jared has said, "You and I are not the same," I've lost count. So we watch this, we do these things very, very differently. But yeah, actually, I was thinking about this. We're gonna shift gears now.
Okay, go for it.
Because, I mean, we
can actively spend it.
At least I said. Correct. That's what I'm saying. And it's one of those things where you want to pivot, and also I also was just like, yeah, we should switch gears. Like this, I think that's enough said, and then we just went on another 5 minutes. Because we can totally talk about it as much as possible. So if we don't pivot now, we're never gonna pivot. So
well, I was gonna say that
we talked about. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, Neil, you're about to put Jared through some much needed character development.
So let's switch gears a little bit. And I know that we wanted to do a whole segment on what makes a great villain, and we're gonna get to that. But I wanted to throw a little fun thing your guys' way. I'm gonna make you guys do a ranking, and it's gonna be 10-1. We're gonna talk about this Straw Hat crew, but we're gonna rank them in according to their aura, if that makes sense.
Like how much Riz they have?
Aura out of the team. How much Riz, energy, basically what is the cool factor? Who would make the best entrance? Who's the most badass? Who's So we're gonna do this, and I know that I'm still working my way through the show, which is why I'm gonna lead this, and I'm gonna let y'all have that discussion. Fair enough?
Okay, sounds good.
But oh man, you still gotta catch up, bro.
No,
watch, he's gonna list off the characters you've never seen. Go for it. Shoot.
Huh? All right, cool. All right, the first one on the list, and rank them 1 through 10, because there's 10 members currently, right? All right, cool. So where would you guys rank Brooke in terms of aura?
4.
On a scale of 1 to 10, or out of the crew?
Well, no,
out of 10.
You're gonna rank them 1 through 10. So who's number? 4?
Mm-hmm.
In terms of aura, presence, he steps in the room and you're
present.
Yeah.
Okay.
Presence,
so,
vibe, who's most likely to make a badass entrance? Yeah. Who's got the most Riz?
I don't know about Riz for this one, but
you're sitting in a room,
like,
and a giant 10-foot skeleton walks through playing on a guitar. You tell me what you're gonna. You tell me if that's not presence.
No.
But
you tell me.
Don't forget about the ice entrance. You can't forget about the ice entrance.
Nah, I'm not forgetting about anything, man. I think Brooke is Brooke might be number 1.
I don't know about
as far as aura goes.
Nah, bro. He's
as far as aura goes, he walks in a room, everybody's like, "What is that?" You know what I'm saying? But if we're talking if you're in an anime battle and you got to size up your opponent,
yeah,
then I'm probably putting him at 5.
Yeah, that's why I put him at 4.
5? 4?
Yeah.
4? Okay. How about Nami?
9.
Yeah, is this
he's got 9 on the aura?
Yeah.
Is this when her chest walks in and her body comes in 10 minutes later? Or are we talking the whole package?
Nah, bro. I'm just saying when she steps on a battlefield, she got no aura. She runs away. So like, come on. Like even if you like, she got Zeus
Yeah.
or whatever, but like, she don't really be like scaring people like that.
Yeah, if she's chasing a bag,
Okay.
she's
All right, okay.
like 10. But like,
Yeah.
if she's just on the battlefield, it's a 0, man. It's a 0.
That's why I put her near the
All right,
bottom.
fair enough. All right, cool. All right, cool. So then let's clarify then. So when I say like aura, I mean like swag level. Like, you know, so she's still 9?
Yeah.
All right,
Like,
cool.
okay, so
All right, next.
just to clarify again, a 9 is at the bottom or a 9
Yeah.
is at the top?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
at the bottom.
1 through 10.
9
Yeah,
is at
one,
the bottom.
like first place, second place,
Yeah.
downwards. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll put her at like an 8 or 9.
So then, where's Chopper going?
5.
5?
For me, he's going 8.
All right.
Fair
If
enough.
Nami's a 9,
Wait, what'd
Chopper's
you
an
say?
8.
Okay.
But like,
Unless he's using Monster
All right.
Point. Unless he's using Monster
that's why-
Point.
that's
I
why I
don't
put
think
him
you
at
know what that
5.
is yet.
Oh no.
that's why I put him at 5.
I'm talking about all of it. I'm talking about all of it. Like just like every.
Monster Point puts him at 5. That's why I put him at 5.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. So you said 5?
Yeah, I said 5. He said 8.
5.
Where are you going, Q? 8? Oh, you guys gotta come up with the. You guys gotta come up with a final answer.
I'm sticking with 5.
Oh, so we have to agree?
Monster Point. Yeah. That's a good question.
You guys have to agree on a number, yeah.
All right, we can put him at 5. I don't think he's a 5, but
5?
I personally don't think he's a 5.
Cool. So then, all right. Well, hey, we'll put him at 5. We'll finish the ranking and we'll see how you guys feel about it.
All right.
Where's Frankie going?
7.
I said I was thinking 7 in my head. Yeah.
Then where's Jinbei going?
Jinbei's definitely top
Here's
5.
the thing. I just love
he's
Jinbei,
4.
so like I'm biased. Yeah, I'll put that. We can put him at 4. I know somebody else is at 4 right now, but we can move that
4.
person down.
All right, cool. And then is Usopp 10 for you guys? Is that what it is?
Usopp is no, I still think Nami's a 10. I think Usopp is scared of battle, but he still shows up. Like, this will give away a part of the anime for you, Neil. But Dressrosa, he really stepped up his game. I'm not gonna say what he did because I'm not gonna give it away.
Okay.
But
Right.
he was the MVP for that arc.
Yeah.
Okay. So where's he going? What's his ranking?
We'll do the swap. Yeah, put him at 9, and then Nami can be at 10.
Q, you on with that?
I would put him at 6. Honestly, I'd put him at like 6 because he has hockey. So
Right.
like that automatically
You
makes
think-
him above some of the crew.
Do
Some of the other crew.
Do you put him above Nico Robin?
Nico's not there yet.
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
the thing. Like I haven't. Yeah.
We don't have Sanji either.
Where's Nico at then?
Luffy and Zoro.
Well, okay, so those guys I'm putting further up. We're
Okay.
gonna get there, but
Okay.
that's a good question as to whether I put him above Nico Robin.
Exactly.
I
That's
do
what I'm
not
like.
put him above Nico Robin.
Neither do I. That's why I put him down.
All right, so we'll put him at what a 9?
Yeah.
All right. So that slides Nami down to 10, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nami's
All
definitely
right.
a 10.
Cool. So then, all right. So, well, we're at 10. Who's at number 1 then?
Luffy.
Because you guys have Luffy's
Yeah.
Luffy's number 1.
Yeah.
Luffy's got to be number 1, man. That's a
Yeah.
captain.
Like,
Okay.
especially because like every
Right, but you can have more
but
than a
here's
captain.
the thing though. Every single time Luffy needs to step up, he has a new form right behind him, and every time he's done that, it's been cold every time. Like Gear 2, crazy. Gear 3, Giant Fist, crazy. Gear 4, bro, wild, right? It was, and then you got the Sake Man, you got the Bounce Man. Like that was a crazy thing. So every time Luffy had to step up to the plate, it was always gas. I've never not have it been gas. That's what I'm like. Like, and Zoro's my favorite character. Don't get me wrong, but Luffy has always stepped up to the plate the way he needed to. So I'm like,
Same.
I can't not put him up there. I can't not put him up there.
He said it. I mean, look right behind him. He's got Luffy. You look over Jared's shoulder. There's a Luffy right there. You can't
Luffy
you can't
times
have
two,
not,
dog,
you can't
bro,
not have Luffy at
like-
number one.
Okay, yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, nah.
All right, cool. So, all right. So then, where's Zoro and Sanji
Zoro's
going?
number 2.
2 and 3, or
Sanji.
Zoro's above Sandri. Zoro's 2.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
Sanji's
yeah.
3
That's
in my
what
book.
exactly
Yeah.
exactly where the bounties are at, anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, if you're
Okay.
going by
Okay,
bounties, Sanji's below Jinbei.
You're right. That's facts.
fair enough. All right, cool. So that's everybody. So let's go through the ranking one more time. So number 1's
Yep.
Luffy,
Yep.
Zoro, Sanji, Brook,
Yeah,
and then we agree
Jinbei.
Chopper at 5.
we should put.
I was
Jinbei
gonna
there,
say
yeah.
Jinbei's at 4.
Do you think you
Jinbei's
put
at
Jinbei
4.
higher than Brook?
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Jinbei's definitely higher than Brook.
Okay, and then
Fair enough.
okay, so then Brook is what, 5?
Mm-hmm.
I'd put Brook at 5. Yeah.
Okay, Robin at 6,
Yeah.
or Robin at 6.
Chopper at 7.
And then you said Chopper at
Yep.
7. Chopper.
Would you put
or
Chopper above Frankie?
I can't speak to that.
Monster Point, yes. Monster Point, especially in the last like when he was going against I think it was Queen and swinging Queen around. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so here's my reasoning. You've seen
Okay,
the
go
latest
for it.
of
Yeah.
the anime, right?
Yeah, I just
So
watched
I
another
think
episode.
that after Frankie meets a certain person,
Okay.
his technology is going to be on another level. So that's his
Okay.
technological output is going to put him past where
Fair.
Chopper.
Fair.
Unless Chopper becomes awakened.
Okay.
Then we'll
No,
see.
you're right. You're right. But that's I can't even. You know what? That's tough. That's actually tough.
That's why I want to put Frankie above Chopper.
I respect it because I don't think Chopper's gonna get a power up anytime soon. To be honest with you, only because he just learned how to master Monster Point. Like, so I don't expect him to get awakened anytime soon. Just because he technically just had a power up ish. So like, yeah, nah, you're right. You can put Frankie above him.
All right, cool. All right, so again, Luffy, Zoro, Sanji. You said Jinbei, Brook, Frankie, Chopper, and
Frankie and
then
Chopper.
that leaves. You said Nico, Usopp, and then Nami. That's a list.
Wait. Okay,
Alright.
so I think we need to put Nico Robin above Chopper.
Go for it.
Fair
All right.
enough. Okay, yeah, that's a solid
Go for
list. All right, perfect. Cool. Yeah, that was a fun little exercise, huh?
Yeah, trying
Yeah.
to rank him when
It was
I see
definitely
the
like-
list, it was kind of tough.
Yeah. So don't worry, we're gonna re-rank these 10 based on other criteria later on.
Fair enough.
So we're gonna have a lot of fun with that.
But there's
Yeah,
also
I'm easy to catch
technicalities,
up.
which is what I was considering at the beginning. Like there's Yamato, there's Vivi.
Yeah,
Like these are technically members that aren't like part of the crew, but still part of the crew. If you know what I'm saying,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
Bunny's
yeah,
technically
yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's like the what is it like that fairy tale arc where they had like temporary members from like other guilds and then they like left the show.
Pretty much, yeah.
They're temporary members, I guess is what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
So
And there's also the Straw Hat
we're
Grand
not
Fleet.
fully counting them.
That's a whole thing
Yeah.
that he knows nothing about. But Bartholomew,
Yeah.
that's my boy.
Fair enough. All right, cool. So then we'll pivot again because now we can talk about these villains that we've been talking about since last week. So I know that Jared had an outline prepared. He put in some prep work on this. He hopped me up on energy drinks yesterday to distract me while he got this ready. So take it away,
All
Jared.
right. So first off, I want to ask you guys, what do you guys consider a quality villain before we get into the people that I have here for today?
You gotta hate the
Go
villain.
ahead, Q. I have my own.
You gotta hate the.
Gotta
Well,
hate
okay,
him.
you don't have to hate the villain, but they have
Yeah.
to be a significant deterrence against the main character. Like,
Got you. So you gotta
they
like
have to
hate
be
what they
somebody
did to
that
their
can
main
actually.
character.
Yeah, you either need to hate their intentions or you need to hate what they did. Otherwise, they're not
Okay.
really an obstacle. You know.
Good thing
Like,
you said that
what's the
because I
point
took
of a
like 3
villain
of these
that's
people out of
totally
here.
irrelevant.
Yeah, no, I prepped a cheat sheet for mine because I actually had like I was thinking about it and I had like 5 criteria that make a good villain.
Yeah.
So like number 1, just their impact on the show. Number 2, their motivation. Number 3, like the level of threat that they were to the story as a whole.
That's a good point. Yeah, for sure.
Number 4, the longevity of their villainhood. Like for example, Aizen was
Entire
basically
series.
a day 1 villain, and
Yeah.
up until they beat him, he was like the guy.
Which was at the end of the
You know,
series.
whereas like for example, Orochimaru was like a villain for like maybe only like half. Like he was the villain for like the majority of part 1 of Naruto and like the early parts of part 2. So like you know what I mean. So it's like the longevity of it. And number 5, which is why I kind of did the ranking of the aura list, is like just their cool vibe, like how cool they were.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, like because like if a villain's not like threatening or cool or whatever, it's just kind of like, oh, okay, you're just kind of there. You're like you're almost like the bubble gut gang or the bubble butt gang from Fairy Tail.
Yeah.
Like you know who I'm talking. Like yeah, see, like they're not threatening. You're just like, all right, like you're clowns. Like you're a villain, but you're a freaking clown. Like I don't get off my screen. Like you know what I mean? So that's what makes like those are the things that I look at when I'm looking at villains.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's why last week I was like kind of making fun of Obito a little bit because like he was a villain for a long time. He's pretty cool. He's a big ass threat, but his motivation sucked.
Fair.
So
I feel like I should mention some of these honorable mentions that I took off the list because I feel like their conventions were not that strong. And one would be Sentui from Yu Yu Hakusho. He was a strong villain. He was pretty good, but like to try to open up the gates to the underworld. But I feel like his motivations weren't strong enough for him to like continue being evil because he kind of like switched up at the end. Kid Buu was just pure evil, you know, because he was just a little kid trying to have fun and just destroy everything. So I took Kid Buu off the list, and those two, and then obviously Orochimaru. You were a villain for a minute, and he stopped being a villain, and then we're just like, okay, now you're just the team's doctor, I guess. And so that's what I took him off.
yeah. Orochimaru got that like no longer a villain nerf. You know, where like you unlocked him as a playable party member, and all of a sudden his stats just dropped.
Yes. Absolutely.
You got the Gohan nerf, in my opinion. Like if Gohan was a villain,
Yeah.
that would be like the nerf
Exactly.
he got.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
All right.
Or I guess
let's
like
get into
Majin
it.
Buu would be another analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like after like Kid Buu, that's why I put Kid Buu on the list because before I took him off, I was like, yeah, Kid Buu was like the harder version of Majin Buu, but I was just like, nah. He was just chaos incarnate. That's all that really was, and I'm just like, that's not a strong villain in my opinion. So now let's get to the list.
Fair.
All right, so we have Aizen, All for One, Frieza, Sukuna, Doflamingo, and Madara.
Are we going one at a time, or are we ranking this?
I'd say let's start with one at a time. Aizen, how do you guys feel about like the quality of villain Aizen was?
You know, Aizen influenced was like the groundwork for Sukuna because he just kind of came out of nowhere with like this idea to take over Soul Society, and not much is explained about his backstory.
Right.
He just kind of comes in with these plans and just starts putting people to work. You know what I mean? Like he starts tearing up Soul Society. He created Hueco Mundo. He is probably the most, like you were saying, the biggest antagonist of the series for a good amount of time. Until Ichigo got too powerful for him. But he was probably one of the OG, like, OP villains that couldn't be touched for a good while.
Right.
Didn't he want to lose though?
I think he wanted so much.
You're gonna have to explain that.
Like didn't he want someone to stop him?
Yeah, I believe so. Like his end goal was to like create a being that was stronger than him.
Okay, like fair enough. Well, I mean, I will say this: Aizen, at least in terms of how I'm aware of it, is the only villain that I know of that stopped the hero's theme music mid-fight. Like,
I forgot about
like
that.
we're talking about aura, like swagger, like that is like 1,000 out of 10, like swagger.
Yeah, you're right.
That is like,
Okay.
like he's so broken and overpowered, he literally stopped the hero's music when it was playing. Like, he's one of those villains. He's a threat before day one of the show. You just didn't know it.
Right.
Yeah,
they.
Like even. Like I was gonna say none of. Okay, I wouldn't say none of, but like none of the captains that he wasn't working with had a clue about who he was.
Right.
So he played him for, like we were talking earlier about Rachel playing Kun for 5 years. Aizen played the Soul Society for a century.
Yeah.
And then executed and just did his thing. So no, Aizen is, if we're not doing a tier list, but like he's triple S tier. Like he's he's that guy.
For sure.
Yeah,
All right,
Aizen was so good of a villain that the guy that was racist against Shinigami was like, I want you on my team. Like, the leader of the Quincy's was like, please, help.
And then he said no.
Yeah. Like, that
He was
is
just
aura.
like, nah, I'm cool.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's why I did the aura playlist, because I was like, we're talking about Aizen.
Yeah.
All right, like.
Oh my god.
Also, not to mention early on Bleach when he changed his hair in front of everybody.
Yeah.
That was like a pure aura move too.
Yeah.
He was just like, yeah, guys, this isn't even what I look like.
He went Clark Kent on them, man.
Took his glasses off, changed
Took
his
the
hair.
glasses off,
That's what I'm
changed the
saying.
hair.
That's what I'm saying.
Turned into a new man.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, no, so like I have some friends out in Indiana, they're YouTubers, shout out the normies. They do like reaction series, and when that episode aired, Aizen did the hair flip thing. Like the girls on the couch immediately swooned because they already had a crush on him because he was like the good green flag captain, like really wholesome, right? Then he found out he's the villain. Then he flipped his hair back, and they're like, "Holy fuck, he's hot!" And like the guys on the couch were like, "Yeah, we see it. Yeah,
Makes
get it."
sense.
So like they're like, "Yeah, we totally understand." So, oh yeah,
That's
good
hilarious.
times. So that's Aizen. Yeah, that's Aizen for you.
Love that. Now
All
let's
right,
talk
so
about
who's
All
the
for
next
One.
villain?
All for One. How do you feel about him?
This man is the epitome of greed.
Yeah.
He wants
He's
it
the
all
epitome of
for
greed.
himself.
Yeah, which kind of knocks him down a peg in terms of
Yeah.
motivation.
Okay.
You think so?
Look,
Like he's, based off what I know about him so far, because like I'm caught up with the show and all
Yeah.
of that. But like so far, my biggest understanding is like, of his motivation is just, I want to take over the world. I want to be the top dog. Like this is like, he's. I don't want to say he's fully this, but he wants to be a villain for the sake of being a villain. Like you know what I mean?
yeah. Like he doesn't have. There's nothing that.
That's the vibe I
There's
get.
nothing that triggered him to like be evil. He's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna be evil.
He's just like, yeah, it's just who I am. Cool. You go with it.
Honestly, I think it's
Other
the nature of
than
his
that,
quirk.
I mean,
Okay.
It's just the nature of his
Elaborate.
quirk. Like
Yeah.
the ability to like take others. Like he's always been taking from others. That's literally who he is. So
Right.
I think
I rock with
that
that.
like feeds into his motivation to be a villain. And
Okay.
it's just
I rock with that. Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
just something you have to accept, I guess. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Because
For sure.
the quirks.
Because I don't think there's a
have
nice
play.
way to do it.
Right.
Like there's no nice way to take someone's quirk, right? You either have to like
Agreed.
if they die, I don't think you could take it, right? Like is that something that
I
you
don't think
can
so,
do?
yeah.
They have to- yeah. I think
So-
you're right.
And I
Putting a
think,
big
like,
stipulation on that,
Yeah.
then he has to
Yeah,
steal
for
it when
sure.
they're alive, and no one's just going to give up their quirk. You know what I mean?
Right.
Very few people are going to give up the good
Yeah,
quirks.
well, yeah,
Sure.
yeah. I was gonna say because like there's that one scene where he like the guy had like a jaw deformity that made him look intimidating. Like All for One was just like, hey, I'm gonna take his quirk because he doesn't want to be like that, but this guy just got mugged last week, and he came to me and he's just like, guns are outlawed, but like make me look intimidating. So he passed it off to him. So like he could have done something like that with it, but then he's just like, oh, by the way, I own you now. Is like, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of what like him taking away quirks is definitely like part of it. But then the way he goes up, but then after that he takes that step of like, by the way, I own you now. You know,
True.
I think that's kind of what like that's what takes him from villain to like super villain.
Right.
Yeah,
You know?
kind of like a loan shark.
But it pretty much. But yeah, but it's not a crazy interest rate. It's your life.
Do we think All
It
for
is
One?
it is in servitude.
Do we think All for One has a lot of aura?
For sure, for sure. He does. As a villain, he kind of does. But like yeah, he's intimidating. I mean, he's been beefing with his brother for generations.
Yeah.
So like the longevity is there. The aura is there. It's just like the motivation, at least for me, is a little less compelling.
Right.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying like talking about like other villains that we're gonna talk about.
Right.
Like if we ranked like their motivations, it wouldn't be very high up. Or it would be like mid tier. That's all I'm saying. But like everything else about him is.
I feel like Shigaraki has way more aura than he does.
I was gonna say.
Yeah,
I was more afraid of Shigaraki than
Yeah.
than All for One.
Yeah. I mean, when Bakugo calls you an old nutsack, you know, it's like
little personal.
it doesn't matter how intimidating you are. It's your aura just goes down, and like yeah, so like when Bakugo called him that, I'm like, oh, he's kind of right. Like it takes away his aura, but also his character design also kind of takes away from his aura a little bit.
Yeah.
But it makes sense because he's hundreds of years old. So.
Okay.
So yeah, but he's still a solid villain.
Fair enough. All right, let's get into Frieza. How do we feel about Frieza?
It's cold, man.
Yeah. I see what you did there. No, that's like an OG, man. That's like, in terms of like rappers, right? You have like Biggie and Tupac. These guys are legends from way back. Eazy-E.
Yeah.
I feel like that's where Frieza is. Like he's from an OG era, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like we don't have the same kind of discourse that we have now. That didn't exist back then.
Right.
So Frieza was like one of the top dogs of villains in fiction.
Right.
Like everyone, well, I'm not going to say everyone, but if you were even a little bit acquainted with Dragon Ball Z, you knew who Frieza was.
Yeah.
And he was just like this tyrant, you know what I mean? Like the man submitted the entire galaxy to his will. Strongest being in the universe. The only thing that could keep him on a leash was Beerus. And Beerus just doesn't do his fucking job, so I mean, Frieza had like free reign for God knows how long. And I don't know if he has motivations other than just ruling with like an iron fist, you know? Like, just complete domination.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's what his motivation is.
Yeah, fair enough. And I also think that Frieza comes from that era of villains where like we as viewers didn't care about their motivation as much. It was just like we needed an imposing figure to take down, and that was Frieza. Right. So in terms of motivation, Frieza can get a pass.
Yeah, but like Frieza definitely did enough stuff for us to hate him, so that works for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think Frieza also helped set the tone for Dragon Ball Z. You know, like it was more serious. This wasn't just like a comedy villain like Dragon Ball. Like this guy is out here tearing people apart. He's blowing people up. He's about to end your favorite character's life.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go on planets for fun.
Literally.
All right, so this one's mainly going to be directed at you, Q. Sukuna. Tell me how you feel about Sukuna.
So Sukuna is one of my favorite characters as well for the same reason. Aizen's one of my favorite villains. Like the whole thing that Sukuna harps on is that he's just someone that lives as he pleases, and he doesn't care about anyone else, and he lives as freely as his power allows him to. And so if you're entertaining him 1 second, the next second when he's bored, he'll just kill you. You know what I mean? Like a calamity. Like, this dude lives under his own rules, under his own laws, and he's like, if you don't like it, come stop me. And there's just something badass about that order, you know what I mean? Like, you can either stop me or deal with it. Like, and he makes it everybody's problem, which is the funny part. Like, if you could think that you're completely like away, like completely safe from his onslaught, and he will find you. This man's trouble will find you.
Sure.
He's like Trump. If instead of politics, he just went to war. Like,
But it's funny because like he's a villain that nobody hate. Does anybody hate Sukuna like in the world, like in the anime like thing? I've never heard anything bad say about Sukuna.
I mean, Yuji hates him, but I mean, as far as like the anime community, no, everyone's crazy about Sukuna. Like the girls love this man, even though he's a sadistic killer. Like the first thing this man said when he was resurrected was like, "Where are the women and children?" Like he just wants to smoke. Neil thinks I'm joking. I'm not even kidding.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Sukuna.
No, Sukuna's got that aura.
Yeah.
For
the fact
real.
that like to tap into your powers, I have to eat your fingers is crazy enough as it is.
Yeah.
All right. Next, we got Doflamingo.
Man.
No. Next.
Is there anything
What a
you can
clown,
add to this,
bro.
Neil?
Why is he on this list? No, why is he on this list?
I had to.
Bro has zero aura.
Considering how much he's done.
No aura. He's not a threat. Huh? No, let's go down the list. No impact. His motivation sucks. No aura. He hasn't been around for very long. Like, he's not a threat. Like, why is he on his list?
No, you're good.
No aura and hasn't been around very long? That's crazy. That's crazy. Even as a joke, that's crazy.
Listen, I had to put the boy in here, bro. I just
Even as a joke, that's crazy.
I'm gonna need you. Q, I'm gonna need you to educate this boy real quick.
All right, so Doflamingo has been introduced, I believe, in like the hundreds. Like he was introduced mad early, right?
Yes, sir.
And you always knew this dude was a little different. Like the way he dresses, the way he carries himself, the way he like interacts with like furniture. Like he'll like sit on top of like the table instead of sitting on a chair. Like he always wants to be the center of attention, and you can't help but be drawn to something like that. And you later find out this dude has all types of hockey. So he's literally just like he's literally built different from everybody else in the series, right?
Yes, sir.
So his motivations they're kind of confusing, I'm not gonna lie. Like, why did he decide to do what he did? Because he felt like it was his birthright to be able to do it. But I feel like people shouldn't be acting like that anyway, just because of how they were born. Like, the world isn't what you make. The world doesn't owe you anything. You have to decide what you make of the world. And this man decided to make it a fucking problem. Like, the way he took over a whole country in one night. What?
Yeah. And then just turn half the people into toys.
Yeah, turned half the people into toys. Start selling black market devil fruits, which had never been done before. Right?
Yeah.
Allied himself with one of the most powerful Yonko, which was Kaido at the time. And then he also helped like fund these dark experiments that were being done by Caesar.
Yes.
Like this man had a hand in like everything. He was in human trafficking, he was in experimentation, he was in exploitation, he was shipping drugs. Like this is the ultimate pirate right here. And you know what his alias was? Joker. He was literally named after the greatest villain in fiction. Like, I think that kind of speaks for itself. Like Doflamingo is up there. I see you got a Doflamingo poster up behind you on top of that shelf. So I already know where you stand on this. But
listen, I had to put it. Bro was a cold. He's literally my favorite villain in the series to this day. Like I had to put him in there. I had to put him in there because he was doing so much in the entire series. Like it was just that one toy specifically, the father, like the little monkey soldier, bro. Like that guy alone was just like a whole like giant background thing that I can't go into that too deeply because Neil hasn't watched it yet. But like that whole character was just like a beautiful like description of how evil Doflamingo specifically was. And so that's why I'm like, nah, bro needs to be in here.
Yeah, he's probably the epitome of evil as far as One Piece goes until you get to where the manga is.
Okay. Fair enough. All right.
Fair enough.
Time to get back. Next villain, we got Madara. How do we feel about Madara?
You already know that's my
exactly
favorite
the same
villain.
way I feel about Doflamingo.
Jared, get this man out of your house. Kick him out right now.
No, man. Okay, no. So, no, Madara's got that aura.
Yeah.
He's a threat. So, like, he went against an army 5,000 versus 1, and won that fight essentially.
Absolutely.
Like I'm talking about like the early war, like yeah, like.
Bro,
yeah, no. So like,
there wasn't even a contest.
What's that?
That's like a hydrogen bomb versus a coughing baby. Like that was a slaughter.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm talking about like when he went up against the fodder ninja, then he went up against the 5 Kage and beat them almost to death. Like he cut Tsunade in literal half.
I was gonna say like, almost. No, you're right. They didn't die. They didn't die, but
no, they didn't die. But like he beat him up, but he didn't kill them. I was gonna say he rearranged Tsunade's guts. But like,
that's crazy.
But like, no,
literally,
yeah, like he went up. Yeah, I mean, Madara was so powerful that even the author didn't know how to beat him.
Yeah.
Like,
I was gonna say.
So in terms of threat level or like my criteria, threat level aura, the longevity was kind of short because he was mentioned, but he didn't really show up until it was time to go down. But during that time that he was there, kind of makes up for it. So he gets kind of a pass, like on that, you know. But also, he's been a problem. Like in terms of the actual story, he wasn't there for very long. But like in terms of the lore, he was there for a long time. So like, depending on how you want to look at it, but he's been a problem.
I feel like lore would make the
his motivation
adds on to longevity.
Yeah, for sure. So I was saying he wasn't there for very long, and then I countered, and then I thought about it in that half second, and was like, never mind. And then like his motivation from it was also like, his motivation was the same as the first Hokage's, which was, I want to create a place where it's peaceful, there's no war. And then he kind of saw what the village was, and he's like, yo, this path is not the right one to go about this. I need to go about it my own way. And it wasn't so much that he was like a villain, at least at that time. It was just more of, we want the same thing, but we have to go about it differently because I don't think this is the solution anymore.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's kind of where like his motivation comes from. So even that, like the whole like, one of my favorite motivations for a villain is I want what you want, but not the way that you're trying to go about it. And that's what causes conflict. That's what I like. For me, that's what I like in villains is like, I want to do good, but accidentally end up doing bad because of it. So, yeah, Madara's S tier.
I think you put it perfectly. I think that one other thing I want to add to what Neil said is that when Madara's name was mentioned, like, not Madara himself showed up, just his name was mentioned. Someone pretended to be Madara, and their response to that was putting all the 5 big nations together and raising an army just to defeat that dude.
Yeah.
And then the real Madara comes, and they're like, "Oh shit!" Like, we fucked up.
Pretty much. Okay, no, that adds to it so much more because like they did all that because some guy said that was him, not even actually him.
It wasn't even really him. Yeah.
No. That takes everything I said and just multiplies it by 10. That's dope. Like,
yeah. Yeah, but everything else Neil said was like perfect, like the longevity, the motivation. Like, this is why, like, I honestly think that Madara is like one of the first villains that was written too strong for the story. You know what I mean? Like, how many villains can you think of that they needed to, that the author needed to have an ass pull just to defeat?
Yeah.
Like, he didn't win because the plot wouldn't let him. Not because Sasuke and Naruto could beat him, but because literally the plot was like, there's no other answer we have. Right?
Yeah. 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 No, I still think that's the thing that makes me laugh to this day. So.
All right, Jared. So now that we got everybody, what are we doing now?
Well.
Oh, that's not everybody. I can guarantee.
Yeah, so like it technically is, but like you had Neil, you had an honorable mention for Pain. You want to talk about Pain versus Aaron. What was your stance on that?
Oh yeah, no, okay. So I mentioned I am glad that you kind of snuck me the list beforehand because otherwise that Madara segment would have gone a lot differently because I was given time to think about it. But like Pain's whole thing was like, you know, I mean, he was a threat for the world with the like. Going back to like just the Akatsuki, his motivation was basically like, look at what trauma you're like. He looked at the 5 major villages and was like, all of your guys' war caused so much trauma among just people. Like, you guys don't know the damage you guys do to regular people because of your international pissing contest, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take control of these tailed beasts. And I'm going to force you all into submission so you all get along. Almost like under duress. Like, it's like unifying the world through being a villain, if that makes sense. Right? And so that motivation, to me at least, was like, okay, like, I see what you're trying to do. But you do know how this is going to go badly. And, you know, and he kind of was just like, yes, that doesn't matter. This is the way that I'm going to go about doing things. And, I mean, he just checks off the box. I mean, he literally blew up the Leaf Village. Like, Orochimaru's whole thing in part 1 was, I'm going to destroy the Leaf Village. You know? Like, that was, like, his goal was to constantly just get the village. And Pain just shows up one day. And it was just like, you know what? I'm going to do what you couldn't do. Based off of one jutsu. So, like, Orochimaru assassinated the Kazekage, got everybody like to follow his order to attack the Leaf Village. You know, like put contingency plans like through Sasuke and all this stuff. And Pain was just like, you know what, Shinra Tensei.
That's it. That's all it took. Almighty push.
And he's like, yeah, and he's just like, yeah, I'm not even trying to destroy the village. I'm just trying to get the tailed beast. This is just the way to flush him out. So like he kind of did it just as like a side quest. So I mean, yeah, that whole thing, and like I mean, and I also just wanted to talk about like Eren Yeager as a villain, cause technically is like bro won protagonist and villain of the year. So you know when you set out to wipe out mankind and get a B plus doing it, there's a B. And he scored a B. It deserves to be talked about. So, as a villain. So, go ahead. That's my piece. You guys can. 80% of mankind Like he.
I think he's got more.
That is
the
that is a
most bodies
B-.
under Frieza.
Yeah, pretty much.
I agree.
Like, so that counts as a villain. Now, like, the Attack on Titan makes it a point to explain to us his motivation. So his motivation is very, very well established to the point where you can see why he did it. But you're just like, yeah, no, that's a no for me, bro. Like, a lot of people watching were kind of on board with it until he started the rumbling, and they're like, oh shit, never mind, jumping ship. Like, in terms of like, yeah, Aaron, go Aaron. They're like, no, now you gotta stop. Like, so.
Man,
Yeah.
killed so many innocent lives.
Oh, dude, so many. Yeah, I mean, like 80% of people. That's like, you talk about like Doflamingo wiping out a country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't even that he wiped out
Aaron
the
was just
country.
like, "All right,
it was
guys,
that he
let's-"
turned the country against the king, which was insane. But
Oh yeah, no,
yeah,
yeah. Aaron didn't
that
even do that.
scene-
He's just like, hey guys, let's go for a walk.
Let's go for a walk.
That's crazy. But yeah, that scene in Attack on Titan
Yeah.
where the two kids were getting crushed by the rumbling, that was a tough
Yeah.
watch. It's tough for sure.
Oh, that definitely was, and I liked the fact, and like, I mean, I like the fact that the show does that, where like he interacted with them in a previous season. Like in an earlier part of the season, he met those kids. And was like, and they even helped him out, or like when Aaron was walking around Marley for the 1st time, like. That baby that was being rescued at the end, where like they were like passing in to make sure he doesn't fall off a cliff. You see him walk past that lady when she was pregnant with that kid earlier in the show. So like it's setting all of that up, and like, oh shit, like these are the people that he's really affected.
Yeah.
So
Right.
and it's people like that like, going back to Pain. Like, Pain was one of those kids, but survived that and was just like, all right, like, we got to put a stop to this. I'm just going to go about it in a villainous way.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
For sure.
That makes sense to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
All right. I love them. Like, I love villains, man. Like, not like rooting for them, but like a compelling villain makes for a compelling story.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the villains we just talked about are some of the best, so.
I personally also
Is
like
there
it where
anything
there's
you guys
like,
wanna add?
yeah,
But-
I personally like it where the villain is that villain, like the primary villain for the entire series. Like,
Right.
we don't get like new grunts thrown in like every which way into the series.
Yeah.
And I also like when you're introduced to a character that later becomes a villain.
Right.
Like in this case, in the One Piece case, like Blackbeard, for example. Like, we knew that he wouldn't get along with the Straw Hats, but we didn't know he would be like an endgame villain to One Piece. You know what I mean? And now it's shaping up to be like that. And I think that's there's something to be said for a character that kind of takes you by surprise with their like story arc and where they end up in the final chapters of the story.
Yeah. Sure feels like the first time we meet him, he was in full support of Luffy, like talking about the One Piece and like believing that the One Piece was real. Just to find out, you're like, nah, bro's a complete op. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Funny, right?
yeah. Full circle.
Just goes to show you how life is crazy. So, how are we ranking these guys?
No, because no, there's no way.
I thought we were going to in the beginning, and the more we like elaborate on each character, I was like, "There's no chance."
All right,
Yeah,
so
no,
how
like,
about
I said S tier multiple times.
So how about
But
we we end this video here with the explanation of the villains.
That
But then
works.
we rank them next week.
Okay.
Oh
Let's do it.
no!
Or we should.
All right, that's
I say
fine.
we do a tier list instead of a ranking specifically, because I can't compare the two. I can't compare them. They're not comparable.
They're all
on the
S
list.
tier.
I'll do-
They're all S tier.
I'll do it. Yeah, no, I'll do an S tier right now. Like they're all S tier except for who was it?
yeah,
All for One, which is an A tier.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of them are S tier except All for One. At least for me, all S tier. All for One A tier.
Yeah.
Right, and then Doflamingo F tier.
I want to fight you.
That's the list.